Hey. So we did the 80s. This was in the 90s, this was a Friday night. You know it's Friday. You might be driving down Stony Island. You might be in a Cutlass. You might be in a white Firebird. You might be in a black Mustang. You might be in a red Mustang. One of those cars was riding with 2 or 3 people going down Stony Island headed to Reds. And then from there, it was kind of whoever didn't know where it was going to end up, but it was always a good time on Friday listening to a little Naughty by Nature, OPP. Hey, welcome back. It's playoff time. The last time we chatted, we were going into Sunday. The goal is get you guys locked in. Let me turn that off. Locked in before the playoffs games start. We got a full slate today. 4 games. We'll talk about them. A little michelada, Modelo, limon, and salt. Isel. Work on my Spanish. So we ended off last week. The East was pretty set going into the playoffs. However, there were some games that were going to be played last Sunday that had implications on the seeding. So one of the big game was the Clippers versus the Warriors. And the Warriors had the most at stake, and they lost. The Warriors ended up in the playoff game, in the play-in game. They lost to the Clippers. Harden had 39. It wasn't, and they just got outplayed. It wasn't a game that they just got beat. The Clippers just played a little bit better. My man Zubac, 22 and 17. Harden had 39. On the other side, we saw playoff Jimmy. He started a little bit earlier. Jimmy had 36. Steph had 30. One of the keys to Golden State's run this playoff during these playoffs is going to be who is going to be that third guy. Draymond's not giving the point production he used to. He's still facilitating. He's going to run the show, but I'm not going to get that 15 to 17 like he used to. So is that going to be Podziemski? Is it going to be Buddy Hield? Somebody has to step up and take some of the load off of Jimmy and Steph, because we've already seen it. We'll talk about the playing game, but it's there. So the Clips locked up the 5. The Warriors in the playing game. The Nuggets beat the Rockets same day. The Nuggets locked in the 4 spot. Good game for the Nuggets. Everybody played for the Rockets. Nuggets were ready. They're hungry. We wanted to see, could they win this game? They came out and won it. So good for them. The other game, the Timberwolves beat Utah. They just had to seal their own fate, and they did. They got the 6th spot. This was a great game. Didn't mean a lot because the Pistons had lost a couple and the Bucks have been on a run. Bucks Pistons. Not a lot. Everybody didn't play, but Pat Connaughton had 43. So go Irish. That was a great game for Pat. So we ended up locked in, right? So we locked in, and the play-in games were going into Tuesday. You had the Warriors versus the Grizz and Magic Hawks. So the Warriors Grizz, another grimy game, man. 31 free throws between Jimmy and Steph. Jimmy had 38, Steph had 37. Beat the Grizz. Ja went down with a sprained ankle, came back in the game, played well, even played the other night. My man Zach Edey, 14 and 17 for a rookie. And y'all know I'm a Zach Edey fan. He stayed on the floor and has been an integral part of this team in this playoff run for Memphis. So they got what they needed. He protects the rim. He gives Jaren Jackson somebody on the side of him. So it's worked out for Memphis, but they lost that one, so that meant they had to come back and play Dallas last night. The other game, the Magic over the Hawks, my man Trey got ejected. He just it was a frustration thing. He'd had enough. Cole Anthony came off the bench and lit him up for 26. The Hawks are really going to have to take a deep look at this team and this roster. And I went down the roster, and it's just not. It's not a good team. You'd probably traded your second best player when you got rid of Hunter. So they got to decide where they're going to go in the future, man. Do you free trade? They got to figure something out, or because they just don't have a lot of talent. So the Magic knocked them off. So then the Hawks end up playing the Heat. The Heat beat the Bulls on Wednesday, and the Bulls just didn't show up to play, man. I'm sorry. They just didn't. And they've been playing so well. I actually had the Bulls to win this game. They just didn't. The Heat came out too hot. Pause. The Heat just came out playing aggressive. You can see that they are in this playoff mode. Wiggins has fit in with this team. He's kind of that, I'm not going to say he's a poor man Jimmy, but similar game, right? Probably a better mid-range shooter. But he's fit in. Tyler Hero is playing at a high level right now. And the Heat look like the old Heat where they, the defensive pressure. You got Davion Mitchell coming off the bench. He was big in both of their games. Tyler had 38, and the Bulls just didn't. The Bulls have to, Lonzo wasn't there, and that makes a difference because he probably would have put a little D on Tyler Hero. AO wasn't there. So the Bulls are going to have to look at their roster as well next year. A lot of guards. If Zoe's going to be healthy, where does he fit in? AO, do you keep Kobe White? I know people are going to say that, but you got to figure out something. A lot of guards. You got Giddey. You're really deep in guards, and you need some better threes and fours. I mean, Pat Williams has been okay, but they're just not getting it done. So you got to figure that out. So you come to Friday, the Heat and Hawks, and the Heat it was a great game. Heat went up big early. Hawks fought their way back in. Trae Young was amazing as well. Tyler Hero had a 30-piece. Wiggs had 20. They have a chance to tie the game. Why is the ball in Niang's hand? Get that ball to Trae Young. I don't care what you have to do. Make the move. Just get the ball to Trae Young. Trae Young, you got to want the ball. You got to go get it. Niang takes the shot. Niang, rather, and he misses. Game over. Heat win. Heat ready to roll. Memphis, Dallas. Great game. Wasn't sure if Ja was going to play. Ja toughed it out. Ja shows up. Ja played well. He blew my parlay because he didn't score 25, but he played well. Again, Zach Edey, 15 and 11, man, 30 minutes. Memphis played well, 6 guys in double digits. They're going to have a tough road ahead in the playoffs when we talk about the seedings, but Dallas had a chance. AD had 40. Of course, pulled up with a little injury late in the game, but Derek Lively back in the lineup, and PJ Washington had 0 points in 27 and 20 minutes, respectively. That's your ball game right there. I think they only lost by 7. Come on, guys. It's playoff time. You can't, no goose eggs can't happen. Just can't happen. So disappointing for Dallas. I think Dallas will be okay, though. We got a good against some Clay back in the playoffs. AD fought through it. He could have stopped on the season, man. But I'm happy AD came back from his groin injury and he finished off the season and actually played well. Had injuries not hit him, you'd probably I'm gonna talk a little bit about all NBA, and you got to consider AD. He had a great season, considering all things in the trades. So we had all of that. So now the playoffs officially start today. So today we go in, and here are the matchups. You got Thunder Grizz, Nuggets Clippers, Lakers T-Wolves, Rockets Warriors. Today's games are Nuggets Clips and Lakers T-Wolves. So in the first series, Thunder Grizz, I think the Thunder will win this one in 5. The Grizzlies will fight. They'll be tough. Maybe they get 2 games. Thunder's just too good right now. I don't think there aren't any good matchups. They have matchups for Ja. They have enough size, right? You got bigs. So they match up well, but I just don't think they have enough firepower to overcome. I don't think we're going to see an upset in the first round. So give me the Thunder in 5 and that one, 4-1 Thunder. Now this next series, the Nuggets Clippers, this probably going to be, actually all these series now in the West are going to be good, and they're going to go pretty far. I'm torn on this one. And because of 2 reasons. The Nuggets defense has not been great this year. Their defensive efficiency, terrible. You got Malone fired. They have moments where they play great defense, but they don't play it consistently. That's concerning. On the other hand, you have the Clippers who are healthy, and they have a pretty deep rotation. And Harden, Norm Powell, Zubac, and Kawhi have been playing great basketball. And that's firepower. You could easily have on any given night 3 20-point scores and then Zubac giving you a double-double. That's hard to beat. But however, the Nuggets have Joker. And I think great players can lead their teams to win. And I'm leaning toward the Nuggets in 7 on this one. It's going to go to distance. And home court advantage is going to play a role in this. 52-80. Look it up if you know. Look at the jerseys. Elevation levels. So give me the Nuggets in this one. It will come down to Jamal Murray has to be consistent. Joker's going to do Joker type things, right? He's going to have some big games, big numbers. Down the stretch, he's going to hit big shots. But Jamal Murray has to be consistent throughout this. He has to come to play. Lakers Timberwolves. Now this one is interesting. Will the Lakers have that? Will they have gelled enough to make a playoff run? Will Luka get exposed defensively? Because I don't know who Luka guarding in this series. Julius Randle? He's not athletic. He definitely ain't getting around Ant-Man. Who's LeBron guarding? So you think about it. They had a good run where they were playing great team defense. But now there's a potential for and we've seen Luka get exposed in playoffs before. Ant-Man is playing Jordan-like. I know we don't like that, but that's how he's playing. Even still, with both of those things considered, you got Gobert guarding the rim. Randall's been playing well. You got a veteran in Conley. I think the superstardom of Luka will get the Lakers a win in this series. Because he can win a game by himself. We saw him do it in Dallas. Let's go to Lakers in 7 on this one. Lakers in 7. Then this last one. This could be very interesting. And I'm going to have to be careful if I'm in Houston watching some of these games. And my wife is going to be torn because she roots for all Houston teams, but she's a Warriors fan. So I don't know what she's going to do. Maybe she'll watch it in silence where she can yell. Might even try to go to a game. Rockets Warriors. So the Rockets, and Udoka, he needs to be considered for Coach of the Year. He took this team and they are playing elite basketball. We've seen one of the Thompson brothers come into his own this year, and you can pretty much bet going in the near future he'll be an all-star. He's one of those, he's a Jimmy Butler type player, but taller. But the Warriors do have playoff Jimmy now. Since Jimmy arrived, Steph is back to scoring close to 30 points a game. It's been a huge help. I think playoff Jimmy and Steph are going to beat the Rockets in 6. The Rockets are young. This will be, you got to get some bumps. But I think the experience with Draymond, Jimmy, and Steph is going to overtake the youth of the Rockets. And the Warriors will advance. They're going to have problems after that. But the Warriors will advance. So that's your first round series. For the 2 games today, I'm going to give y'all a little something. I like the Nuggets. I like the Lakers. And if you want to go hit your DraftKings, take the Nuggets money line in the over. Take the Lakers money line in the over. The over for the Nuggets game is at 223.5. The over for the Lakers game is 216. So hammer both of those. Now we go out east. The East is going to be, we're going to see some series go pretty fast. This Cavs Heat series, it's going to go one or two ways. Either the Cavs are going to show their dominance. 4-1 is what I'm saying. I picked. I think the Cavs are just playing great all year. We've talked about the size, the Twin Towers. Donovan Mitchell has been great. My hometown boy is back. Max Strus is back. And then we talk about DeAndre Hunter. I like the Cavs to just get this over with in 5. If you give the Heat a chance, the Heat will steal some games. But the Cavs need to just continue to be dominant. I think this one will be over quickly. Pacers, Bucks. I went back and forth on this. Portis is back. Giannis is there. We've seen both of the young guys come off the bench. Kevin. They've come off the bench, played well, but you don't have Dame. And I think it's going to be hard to beat the Pacers without Dame. I initially picked the Bucks, but I think realistically, this might be the end of the Bucks run. And this could be the end of Giannis in Milwaukee. Now, if Giannis want to get on that expressway and come on down here to Chicago, we'll welcome you with open arms, Giannis. I'll take you to Greektown. So I got the Pacers in 6 in this one. JJ, I'm sorry. Just being realistic. I'd love to see him win, but I'm not sure. But for today's game, take the Pacers to cover. I think it's 6, and take the over, 225. That's it. That's your bet for today. The next series, I'm going to apologize to Mikey. Knicks Pistons. As much as I want to see the Pistons win this one, Brunson is back. Cat's playing well. OG Anunoby he's found his groove. A healthy Knicks team is hard to beat. First game today is at home. They'll probably win today. I got the Pistons to cover the 7 over 220. There's your second bet for today's game. The Pistons have had a great season. I'm happy for the city of Detroit. Bernie's also in consideration for Coach of the Year too. They've done an excellent job compiling this roster, put Tobias Harris and Malik Beasley, putting those veterans in. And we talked about this early in the season. I told you Detroit was going to make a playoff. They have it. They're grimy. They almost play like the Heat when you think about it. They have a similar style. I just think the Knicks are just a little bit better, personnel-wise. And that may be the difference. The Knicks potentially have 2 All-NBA players on the roster. But the Pistons are going to win some games. It's going to be a great series. I got the Knicks in 7. Mikey, we can talk about it. If you can persuade me, I'll go with the Pistons. I want to see them win. The last series, I think, is just going to be a flat-out sweep. I don't even think the Celtics and Magic. The Celtics are going to come out and let the league know that we're the defending champs. We're healthy. A lot of this comes down to health. We're the defending champs. We're healthy. Porzingis is back. Al is there. Tatum. Again, we talk about Tatum. He don't get a lot of respect, but he's probably one of the best players in the league. Top 5. Easily. Top 4. Easily. Celtics, Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown battling a little bit of an injury, but I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be okay. So that's our playoffs. That's what we got for the first round. We'll get through this. We're going to check in on these games. Again, I told you I gave you some picks for today. We got 4 games. So I'm excited. I'm really excited for this Nuggets-Clippers game today. That's going to be a great one. Now, I told you I'd start talking about some of the awards. Today we're going to do all NBA. Now, as you know, the league, a few years ago, they instituted a new rule. You have to play a minimum 65 games to be award eligible. So when I give you this, remember that there are a few people that aren't eligible. Dame, Luka, AD, not eligible. So just keep that in the back of your mind while I run through this. And I know it's positionless, but I did mine by position. I kind of wanted to think through it by position. So what I'm going to give you is a traditional All-NBA team. We're going to start with the third team. And I'm going to tell you where I struggled. There's one team that, because of how poorly they were, do they even deserve players on there? And they have two guys that's potentially All-NBA. One of them I put on here. I went back and forth on the third team point guard between Brunson and Steph. I gave it to Steph, one because historically he earned it, but the second half of the season, Steph was just flat out amazing, and he had nothing in the first half, and they made a run. So Steph gets third team point guard. Shooting guard goes to James Harden. You didn't hear a lot about the Clippers the first half of the season. They were playing well. Kawhi came back. Harden was there for the whole season. Him and Norman Powell. You know, Powell should have been all-star, got the snub. But for the simple fact of what Harden has done consistently this year, he's still a bucket. He gets third team shooting guard. This one here, the small forward, initially I penciled in DeMar DeRozan. And I was like, no, it just because this is where Luka would have been in this group, I'll say. And I couldn't give it to him. So KD gets the nod. I didn't want to give anybody on Phoenix just because of how bad they were. But KD was number 6 in scoring in the league. He's still a bucket. Without him, that team's terrible. So he gets the nod there at 3. The 4 is Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley made a big jump in his career this year. And I really got to watch him a little bit, man. Evan Mobley got a nice handle for a 6'11 guy. I watch him. If you watch Cleveland's offense, he will bring the ball up and set up the offense. Rebounds well, plays defense, probably going to be considered for all defensive team. He deserved it. And y'all know I'm smiling because you know who's my center on the third team? My boy Zubac. It took him 11 years, but man, listen. Had a great season, averaged double-double. I think he's second in league in rebounds. Highest points of his career. Played every night. And, I'm a fan. He deserves it. So Zubac is third team All-NBA this year. Second team. You got to give it to Cade to start off with. Cade Cunningham led these Pistons to the playoffs, man. He was the rock, and you could see it. He's been winning all his life. He made a big jump just in his leadership, keeping these Pistons floating. He had numerous triple-doubles, big games. So Cade's the point guard. Donovan Mitchell didn't have a great year statistically, but he was available. His team had the second best record in the league. He didn't have to. When they needed him, he made big plays, scored big points. But because the other guys around him played so much better this year, he didn't have to carry that load. But he was still Donovan Mitchell. Like, when you needed a bucket, he can go get you a bucket. Third team, yes, Old Man River. Brian second team 3. Brian gets it, man. I can say what I want, but to be 40, put up the numbers he did under the circumstances, AD goes down, they make the big trade. LeBron was consistent all year, man. He had moments where he can turn it on, he can run the floor, give you a slam dunk. He had a few chase down blocks. But his numbers are top 10 in the league, man. He just had a great season. My 4 is Sabonis. He gets overlooked a lot down there in Sacramento. Sabonis is tough, man. Shout out to his father, man. Sabonis is tough. So Sabonis gets the 4. The 5 goes to Karl-Anthony Towns. Cat had a great season too. So he's the 5. So there's your second team. Cade, Spider, Brian, Sabonis, and Towns. I think the first team we know. The first team is just kind of automatic, right? There's no... You can't argue with me. And maybe... I don't even know how Luka would fit in with this, even if he made the numbers, man. It's tough. SGA, that's your MVP right there. And I know you could argue for Joker, and I probably would say Joker is the MVP, but if you watch the game enough, you know how they're going to do this, and they're going to give it to him. You think about when Steve Nash got one. LeBron probably has multiple ones he could have had. Same thing with Jordan. Kobe got screwed a few years. So sometimes they just want to mix it up, right? But SGA will get the MVP. Anthony Edwards, a great season. Shot a lot of threes, but he hit a lot. His shooting percentage, he close to 40%. But AE took Minnesota, put him on his shoulders, and he's a superstar, man. He got a new way to pay child support, but financially it makes sense. I just hope he does better and be in the kid's life. But, you know, pay up now. You don't know what the market's going to do later. Time value of money. Tatum. He the best player on the defending national champs. I'm still in college hoop. He the best player on the defending championship team. And he also, Tatum stays healthy and available. Great season, great number. Giannis, the Greek freak. Can't argue with him. Probably going to be third in MVP voting. We just got to figure out where he's going from here. Again, Dame goes down. Giannis just keeps going. Fought Milwaukee. They got into the 5 spot. And he's gonna give it all in the playoffs. And then Joker's a Joker. He averaged a triple-double. So what more can you say about that? He averaged a triple-double. He also was consistent. He's available. Without him, you know, you talk about great players. If you take a great player off the team, what happens? If I take any one of those guys off of their teams, those teams are probably not as good. Not even close, right? So those are your all NBA teams. We'll do a few more awards on the next episode. And there were some guys I considered, man. So we talked about the dudes that were out. D-Book, he probably could have slid in there behind Harden, maybe. But they were just so bad. I was on the fence with Franz Wagner. He had a great season too, down there in Orlando. He barely made the cut with his injuries, but considered him. Same thing with De'Aaron Fox. You could consider him. He had a great season, but injuries kind of put him on the shelf. All right, so there we go. We're about to move into this. We got some great games today. Let's lock in. I got to do a little bit of work before this first game comes on, but we locked in all day. As you see, we back in the land. We're moving around, so we're in the Lakers room. Probably get in for these games later on. You can find me out south somewhere. But hey, once again, as always, thank you. God bless you, man. I appreciate you. Tell your friends about us. Let's watch these games. Leave some comments, and I'll talk to you next week.